LEC in a little segment we would like to call From Malding to Balding. Now, G2, they've been the best team Robin, and before they take on Schalke 04, we wanted to take a closer look rather at their man in the mid lane, Caps. Now, we're going to start with yesterday. He was on the TF, and I think G2 probably played one of their most impressive games I've seen out of them this entire season. They've really been ramping up. And Georgia, you wanted to look specifically at how Caps played his TF.
This guy was absolutely amazing. At some point, the game had 16 kills, and he had 15 of them. He was absolutely fantastic. So right here, I want to point out that G2 have actually split the river in half. They've got all of their vision points and the barrels on their side of the map. And then we also have Caps, who is hiding behind that wall. Now, if I keep playing this, you'll see that Caps keeps throwing cards. He keeps threatening every time Mad moves forward. Caps threatens with a yellow card, and that's what we're seeing right here. And the second G2 comes back, Mikyx lands a fantastic ultimate on the two carries right here, and then Caps is gonna come in with a yellow card to capitalize in one of them. Telestar is gonna do its own things, but we're not gonna go down like this. So you'll see that Caps, I love the slow motion, thank you so much production, he's gonna move away from whatever's threatening him. He will go back in when he has the cooldown onto his cards. He moves back again from the damage and then back in. But the most important thing is that what he sees right here is that the fight is pretty much over on this side of the map. He doesn't care about what's happening. What he cares about is Carzzy.
He wants to kill him.
He wants Carzzy, okay? But you'll see that what he does is he gets his yellow card and he sees the opportunity to flash through and try to go for Carzzy right there. Carzzy has a flash though, which is very important.
By the way, your sleeve is what's touching the button.
Oh, my sleeve is
You're too frustrated.
There you go. He's like, sure, okay, Carzzy is just no longer part of the yellow card, but Armut is.
That's killer.
So we'll take what we can. It doesn't end there. They kill Armut as well. Cap still has ultimate up and available. He's like, I will get Carzzy. Carzzy does run away. Elyoya, though, doesn't have a way out of it. So I think his gold cards were so important for that particular fight. I think he had 3 gold cards. All 3 of them resulted in a kill and a flash on Carzzy, which is going to be important later on in that game.
And it's amazing efficiency out of him, and you might say at home, yeah, but that's what you do as Twisted Fate. But it was the way he did it and the way he consistently did it, and also how G2 was on the same page with him, Georgia. It happened again and again and again.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing that Caps did, because he was there. He was there, as you can see on the screens. He was there. He was there. He probably went past your house as well. He was literally
he picked up a pizza, he dropped it off.
Yep.
He was there as well.
And there. Alcov Gaming as well, everything included.
Yes, definitely so. All jokes aside, it was a fantastic game coming out of Caps, as we saw just how destructive he could be on the Twisted Fate, but also how the rest of G2 really ramped up. And that's why we want to kind of look at From Malding to Balding, because it was, funnily enough, the moment that the haircuts came in Ender, that we saw a big shift in Caps, and that always means that there will also be a big shift in G2.
Yeah, you know, as much of a meme as it is, there is a little bit to be said about a sort of mental reset halfway through a split, and for Caps, it absolutely happened. I felt like he was making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes early on, but once this change came through, he has been absolutely crushing it, completely back on form. Mechanical, I mean, on Gwen, you don't really have to execute well mechanically, but like, just yesterday, his movement was absolutely clean. A little thing, like things that are harder to notice too, just base movement, not just landing skill shots, you know, getting into the back line, big wombo combo ultimates. No, his movement within fights, his ability to influence the map, knowing roam timings, all these things have been absolutely on point for the team.
Definitely so, and Caps being on form, as well as the other members of the team, and really getting those wins under their belt is so important. Reckless said on Euphoria that he thought maybe the games that they lost in the middle were a bit overblown, because this is when it matters the most, Georgia. What do you make of G2's form so far, as we are now just a couple of steps away from the playoffs?
I think it was Caps that mentioned it as well. They sort of fumble halfway through last season, and then they were trying to find themselves so hard that they just missed the point. And I feel like everyone trying their hardest, playing their style, because none of the games are like clean start to finish, but they are G2 150% start to finish. And that is the aggression, that is the side lane pressure, that is their team fights that Arcella, that's the positioning that Arcella. I love how Ender mentioned as well, he doesn't need to do the flashy plays. The way he was moving on the Twisted Fate, in and out of that fight, just being a threat on the way he was moving was just enough to win that fight for G2.
That it was. They are up against Schalke 04 though, and Schalke usually has what it takes to somehow beat G2 when they're doing really good. So we'll see if that happens. Coming up next, the final edition of the classic matchup in EU history, the Kingslayers. Schalke 04 look to upset G2 one last time.